Hello everyone, thank you for your attendance tonight. During our time together, I'd like to talk about the Arts for All initiatives, a series of legislative proposals designed to help small rural arts groups in Idaho by changing current state funding policy. There is a great part of the state of Idaho that does not benefit from state funding for the arts. Our proposed policy change challenges the Idaho State Legislature to reform the Idaho Commission on the Arts funding model so that it targets the most vulnerable of arts organizations, those scattered throughout the vast rural areas of Idaho. Currently, the Idaho Commission on the Arts, or ICA, governs arts policy in the state. However, even though they are charged with supporting arts initiatives statewide, the majority of available ICA grants are allocated to a handful of programs located in Ada County. These programs do a world of good, but they reach a relatively few number of people. We propose an increase in ICA funding, specifically allocated to arts development in rural communities. Since 1967, the ICA served as a vehicle to utilize federal, state, and private funding sources to support the arts in Idaho. But an analysis of ICA grant activity shows that the funding has been significantly lopsided over the past several years. Ada County is home to 27% of state population, due in large part to the Boise metropolitan area. However, in the past 7 years, a clear majority of grants, 59%, have been awarded to Ada County organizations. Consequently, arts organizations serving 73% of Idahoans are left to scramble for the remaining 41% of grants, resulting in hindered access to arts education programs that would bring life-enriching experiences to those living in Idaho's rural communities. These arts organizations are often the only organized artistic outlet for residents of small town Idaho. If we do not reform the current funding methods of the ICA, the result will be increasing opportunity gaps between urban and rural areas of the state. Our plan increases funding for rural organizations by earmarking funds specifically for arts projects in small population area. This could be accomplished in part by changing the funding rules governing the ICA. Right now, current ICA practice limits any grant amount to 6% of the applying organization's annual budget. Some simple math tells you that if your organization's annual budget is $5,000, your grant maximum is only $300. For many rural area organizations, this severely limits the possibility of receiving meaningful funding opportunities. We propose that along with a funding increase, the grant cap be eliminated for new arts organizations that are based in areas with a county population less than 20,000. Doing so would expand prospects specifically for organizations that need the most assistance. As an organization's overall budget grows, and as private sources of funding becomes more available, the allowed grant percentage would progressively decrease back to the traditional 6% of the overall budget. This policy change would ensure that the smallest, most disadvantaged organizations would be targeted. So, these changes needs to be passed by the Idaho State Legislature. This is where your help is needed the most. By contacting your state representatives, you play a key role in persuading them to join the Arts for All initiative. Your voice matters in the fight for small town arts programs. Support the arts in rural Idaho. Contact your state representative, your state senator, and the Idaho Commission on the Arts. Tell them to support the Arts for All legislation proposals. Support the 73% of Idahoans culturing small town arts initiatives and help reform the Idaho Commission on the Arts funding model. Thank you for your support. Good night.